What if I told you one of the most powerful luxury brands in the world, a company worth over $10 billion, technically doesn't have an owner, no billionaire founder controlling it, no shareholders demanding profits, no public stock, no Wall Street pressure. Instead, it's owned by a charity. Yeah, charity. Now you're probably thinking, wait, how does a luxury watch brand become a charity? And more importantly, where does all that money actually go? Because Rolex isn't just selling watches, it's selling status, history, and mystery at insane margins. But behind the polished gold and ticking perfection is a structure so unusual. It almost sounds like a loophole. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how Rolex built one of the most secretive financial empires in the world, and why its charity status might be its greatest business advantage. Let's rewind back to the early 1900s. Before Rolex became a symbol of success, it was just an idea, risky, unconventional, even a little crazy. At the time, wristwatches were considered unreliable. People trusted pocket watches. So imagine someone saying, let's build a tiny watch, strap it to your wrist, and make it ultra precise. Yeah, good luck selling that. But Rolex didn't just build watches, they built trust. They pioneered waterproof cases. They pushed precision standards. They literally strapped watches to swimmers crossing the English Channel. Why? Because proof creates belief, and belief creates demand. But here's where things start to get interesting. Because while Rolex was growing, its founder was thinking far beyond profit. At some point, something unusual happened. Instead of setting Rolex up like a typical corporation, it was transferred into a foundation. Not partially, not strategically, completely. That means Rolex is owned by a private foundation, not investors, not a family dynasty, but an entity designed for charitable purposes. Now pause for a second. If a company generates billions in revenue and it's owned by a charity, then the obvious question is, where does the money go? Because Rolex watches aren't cheap. We're talking thousands, sometimes tens of thousands per watch. And yet, there are no earnings calls, no investor reports, no public financial disclosures. It's like a black box. Money goes in, watches come out. But what happens in between? And here's the twist. That secrecy? It might be the secret to everything. Let's break this down. Rolex operates like a luxury powerhouse, but without the usual corporate pressure. No quarterly panic, no grow-at-all-costs mentality, which means they can play a different game. They limit supply intentionally. They create waiting lists. They control distribution tightly. Ever try to walk into a store and just buy a Rolex? Yeah, good luck. It's almost like they're saying, you don't choose Rolex. Rolex chooses you. And weirdly enough, that makes people want it even more. Scarcity creates desire. Desire creates status. Status drives demand. It's a psychological loop. But here's the kicker. Because they're not publicly traded, they don't need to chase short-term profits, which means they can focus on long-term brand dominance. And that is incredibly powerful. But wait, if they're not maximizing profits in the traditional sense, why are they still making so much money? This is where things get fascinating. Being owned by a foundation changes everything. Think about it. A typical company distributes profits to shareholders. But Rolex? Those profits stay within the foundation or get allocated toward philanthropic efforts. Now here's the genius part. They can reinvest heavily into the brand, into manufacturing, into quality control, without worrying about external pressure. And at the same time, they benefit from a structure that aligns with nonprofit principles. So you get the best of both worlds. A luxury brand generating massive revenue with the flexibility of a nonprofit structure. It's like playing a game, but with a completely different rulebook. And because of this setup, Rolex can stay incredibly private. No need to reveal margins. No need to justify pricing. Which leads to an uncomfortable question: is Rolex a charity or just a perfectly engineered system? Let's talk about something most people overlook: secrecy. In today's world, companies are obsessed with transparency. But Rolex? They went the opposite direction. And it works. Because mystery creates intrigue. Intrigue creates conversation. Conversation creates brand power. You don't know exactly how many watches they produce. You don't know their exact profit margins. And somehow, that makes the brand feel even more valuable. It's like a luxury illusion. And here's a fun thought. If Rolex suddenly revealed everything tomorrow, would it still feel the same? Or would some of that magic disappear? Because sometimes, what you don't know is exactly what makes something desirable. So, let's answer the big question. How did Rolex become a $10 billion charity? Not by accident, not by luck, but by design. A structure that protects the brand, maximizes control, and allows long-term thinking. It's not just a watch company. It's a financial architecture, a system where scarcity drives demand, secrecy builds prestige, and structure preserves power. And whether you call it a charity or a strategic masterpiece, one thing is clear: Rolex didn't just build watches. They built a legacy that controls perception itself. And now I want to ask you something. If you had the chance to build a company like this, would you choose transparency or power through mystery? Because Rolex chose its path, and it changed everything. If you found this story fascinating, you're going to love what I break down next. How another iconic company quietly built its empire behind the scenes. Click on the video on your screen right now, and I'll see you there.